Good day, everyone. Happy Thursday. Today, doing a Q&A session talking about buying income properties with creative financing, other people's money, and no joint venture partners. That is Mel and I's specialty. That's what we do. No JVs, other people's money, creative financing. We're actually doing it in 5 different countries now. So I'm going to let people log in. There we go. So I'll let people log in as we're coming along here. And as you have questions, definitely put it in the chat. So I want to talk about. Actually, I'm going to talk about a couple of U.S. deals, right? Because that's something. These are questions we get a lot about. Hey, I'm a Canadian and I want to do cross-border investments into the U.S. Well, a lot of moving parts there. And again, I'm not saying that it is super complicated. It's just if done incorrectly, um, can be very costly, right? In regards to tax, right? You can have double taxation. If your entities are not set up properly, there's that burden as well of having to do it over again, right? And spending good money after bad. But I'm seeing a lot of Canadians that are looking at investing in the US. Mel and I are doing it as well. So, for example, what do we have going on in the US right now? We have a flip in Cape Coral, Florida. Actually, what's the address on the other one? Just trying to find it. I'll find it after. I'm trying to think. It's close to Cape Coral. I'll look it up after. We're about to firm up. Isn't that bad? We've got so much deals going on. I can't remember exact city, but we've got another deal going on in Florida. We're firming up today on it. It's going to be closing early July. We're already June 13th. Early July. So doing that again from our worldwide headquarters in North Bay, Ontario, Canada. But yeah, once you understand and once your structure's set up, you can definitely do this anywhere. So we've got that going on. 2 things in Florida, or Cape Coral, and 2 in Cape Coral, let's say. 1 short-term rental in Orlando. We've also got a flip going on. I shouldn't say flip. I don't know what I'm going to do with it exactly yet. It's a triplex in Ohio. Okay. Akron, Ohio. We purchased this for $72,000. We're contemplating. I was actually just talking to the project manager before coming live with you guys, and we're literally at that point. And this is why I love real estate, and this is why we use our cash flow analysis matrix is our tool that we've had trademarked. This is literally the situation I'm in. Okay, and as a real estate investor, this is exciting because this is the ins, the outs of real estate. So we bought this triplex. We bought it with other people's money. Okay, and we're going to be renovating with other people's money. So roughly it cost us $72,000. So we borrowed, let's just keep easy math. We borrowed $100,000 to do this project. Okay. $72,000 of which went towards the actual purchase price. We purchased it cash, closing costs and all that. Now the renovations have come up and they're going to be somewhere around the $12,000 mark. Okay. And that's for 2 out of the 3 units because there's 1 unit that is occupied. The other 2 that's 3. The other 2 are vacant. So this is where we're at now. We can either do a couple of things. We can either look at keeping the 1 unit occupied, only renovating the 2. And then, hey, what's my after repair value, right? How much am I spending versus how much am I going to be able to refinance this or sell this for? Okay, so that's literally a conversation that Mel and I are having right now. Or do we do all 3 units, right? So renovate all 3 units. What's the new renovation budget? And then now what's my new after repair value evaluation, right? So if I want to refinance it or if I want to sell it, what's that end appraisal going to be at with all 3 units? And is it worth it? Is that juice worth the squeeze? The other question we're going through as well is, do we leave all 3 vacant, right? Do we leave all 3 vacant because the next buyer might find that more attractive? They can put in the tenants that they want. They can get the rents that they want, which we're going to be going after market rents anyway. Or do we fully occupy it, right? And then list it that way. And if we're refinancing, obviously we're going to have fully occupied. But these are literally some of the things that Mel and I have going on in our portfolio. And this is the exciting part is once you have the data, however you say it, once you have the data of an area and these are the market rents, this is what I can increase it to since it's vacant. This is what my renovations are going to be. This is what my after repair value can be. Like, that's where you can start making educated decisions. And we literally use our cash flow analysis matrix for all of this. It's an Excel spreadsheet. Mel and I have had it trademarked in Canada and in the US. And it's what we use for every single deal. So literally, we're just there changing the numbers. Okay, this scenario, we make this much money. This scenario, we make this much money. This scenario is, 2 months. This scenario is 3 to 4 months. Is it worth waiting? How much interest are you paying on the money? So all of these calculations are super fun. That's just one deal we've got going on now as well. We have our 10-unit boutique hotel going on in almost at Florida, in Costa Rica, which is super cool. I see a question here. Yes, Talia, we'll definitely get into your question next. But the Costa Rica, the 10-unit hotel, this is very exciting as well. It's a short-term rental. It's seller financing. So again, the Ohio property that we have going on is a promissory note. Okay, we borrowed $100,000 for that project. The Cape Coral flip was also a promissory note. We borrowed $100,000 for that project. That one is almost done. If you check out my story, if you check out my story on Facebook and Instagram today, everything is always at Investor Mel Dave. You'll see some pictures. So the Cape Coral flip, you'll see the tiled shower, beautiful tiled shower. You'll see the kitchen. The kitchen does not have the countertops yet. We went a little bit higher end, so we wanted to make sure that they turned out to be very, very nice. So go check out the story. You'll see the bathroom. You'll see the shower. You'll see the kitchen without countertops, or I think the island, that type of thing. The Costa Rica project we have going on, 100% sell. No, I shouldn't say 100%. We had to come up with $48,000. That was our down payment. And then the rest was seller financing for 5 years. Okay, balloon payment out till the end. And again, same thing. We're doing renovations. The team is there. They're clearing out all the excess brush, just making it look nice. The pool area, it's cool. It's a hotel, right? It's a resort. I never thought I'd own a hotel. Again, all done from, I think it's funny saying my world headquarters, all done from our world headquarters. Mel's going to be like, really, Dave, you're calling it world headquarters? All done from basically North Bay, Ontario, Canada, where Mel and I are located. So we have not been to this particular city in Costa Rica, but we're still able to do it because of our strategies and our systems in place and our KPIs. But yeah, so right now, clearing out the brush there. They are literally the pool area. We're going to be putting a slide in, right? Because that's what people are going to want. It's a short-term rental. It's touristy. We're going to want families to want to be around that area. The kids going down the slide, having fun, giving us good reviews. So again, beautiful spot that we're building out. We're painting it. What else are we doing there? We're painting it. We're doing some room upgrades, but we don't want to lose that Costa Rican flair, right? There's some tile work there that, again, would I put it in my house? No, but in Costa Rica, it goes. So we're keeping some of that uniqueness, or what's the word I'm looking for? If someone can put the word out, I want to keep that. Someone can put in the chat for me here. That not flair, not authenticity with, anyway. So that's going on too. Super exciting. 100% other people's money, which is super, super. Again, that's how we do our deals. We underwrite them and we stress test them to have that exit strategy. Okay, so that's the thing. Where you are located does not matter anymore. It does not matter where you're investing from, because, like I said, we're doing this in 5 different countries: in Canada, US, Costa Rica, Mexico, Dominican Republic, always using creative financing and other people's money. On this particular deal, the 10-unit boutique hotel in Costa Rica, we gave ourselves such a long runway, which I love. Okay, so, and this is the thing of people will say, Dave, are you going to flip this one? Are you going to refinance it? Well, we have 5 years to decide now. We make a payment twice a year to the I guess the seller, well, the previous owner, the seller, and then after that, we cash flow the property. Okay, so once this is all up and running, we'll cash flow every single year, and this is where we could maybe put it on the market, 3, 4, 5, 6 months from now, put it obviously a higher price so that we can make a profit, and we could exit this deal very quickly. Or we can say, you know what? We've got 5 years. Do we let this ride for, a 2, 3 years, 4 years? Let the market continue to appreciate as well. Cash flow the asset, while doing basically nothing, right? There's asset managers and property managers in place taking care of it, paying back the investors and all that at the same time, and the lenders, and just riding it out. Or do we refinance it in 2 or 3 years from now? Right, because we do have financing options in Costa Rica. Pay everyone out, keep the hotel, and just add it to the portfolio to keep for the next 20, 30 years. So that's the beauty of these projects when you find them and when you do them, is there's tons of different options to how you want to own them and all that. But let's go back specifically. Well, I'll answer Tale's question. We are doing our renovations here. Let me share the question here. Okay, Tale, let me share your question so I can read it for everyone. We are doing our renovations right now, but the thing is, today is also our home appraisal. Ooh, appraisal and renos at the same time. Okay. Can the appraiser consider the reno even if it's not done yet to add value? Ooh, to the price value. Okay. Good question. And I've seen a little bit of everything here. And if you guys have questions, please put it in the chat and I'll share your question as well. I'll just use my house. I recently renovated, Mel and I recently renovated our house. And I had the conversation with the appraiser because there was a few things, and even income properties, that we do the same. Because sometimes you're like, oh, I just want to get the appraisal done so that I can get that ball rolling at the financial institution so they can fund, we can get the refi because I'm doing another like, I get it. It's all this sequence of events and timing. So I've been in the same situation, Tale, with income properties, with our own house, with our cottage, all that stuff. And typically, and again, don't take this as the end all. Okay, it's going to depend on the appraisal. It's going to depend on the financial institution. But what I have seen is if the financial institution says, you know what, we're okay with some renovations, or we're okay that the work is not fully completed, as long as it's 90, 95% complete, which will be up to the opinion of the appraiser, then we'll allow the refinance to be done. So again, ask the appraiser, ask the financial. This is just my experience. What are you okay with being done? Now, if your bathroom is completely gutted or your kitchen's completely gutted, they're going to be like, well, the work's not done yet, and we're going to take that into consideration. But let's say your kitchen is done or your bathroom is done, and it's like, I need to install a few doorknobs. I need to install the faucet. I need to install, the what do you call it there, the light bar above the mirror. Like, they're going to look at that and go, okay, you just put in the new tile or the tub, you put in the flooring, you've already put in the vanity, you've already done 90% of the work is done. Now it's just like the finishings. In my experience, again, please talk to the appraisers and talk to the bank. That has been good enough for them to consider complete. So yeah, good question, Tilly. And let us know if you have any other questions, guys. That's what the point of today is, a Q&A. So one thing, the biggest mistake I see with people buying in the U.S. And the Fed did not lower interest rates yesterday. I'm sure some of you already know that. From what I saw, correct me if I'm wrong, if I misread it, but from what I saw, the Fed had stayed steady on the rate. They didn't increase, they didn't decrease. Bank of Canada last Wednesday did decrease. So I was actually kind of surprised that the Fed didn't yesterday. Again, I'm not an economist or a mortgage broker or anything. It's just, again, historically in election years, they do see it go down. And in Canada, historically, again, not predicting here, but talking to economists and mortgage brokers, historically, once there is a cut in Canada, there's typically multiples, others that come as well. So fingers crossed, hopefully that happens. Once that does start happening, I believe the market is just going to take off. So I think it's important to have the knowledge right now and have the understanding of how to do this, because once those rate cuts do happen enough, and it gets mainstream and the general population, like, not everyone's a real estate investor like us, right? Once everyone starts realizing that rates are going down, I foresee anyway, I don't want to make projections, but that's just my 2 cents. So if you are thinking of getting into real estate, team, put the link. If you are thinking of getting into real estate because you do not want to miss out, like, we have a very unique time in the market right now. When rates do start going down and people do start buying again, and we're actually heading into a summer market right now, all that, like, there's going to be a peak. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to be rushing in. So there's still that period of time right now, in my opinion. Again, I'm not an economist or anything like that, but there's still a sweet spot here that but you can always buy real estate, to be honest with you. You can always do deals. Even when interest rates were going up, Mel and I were still buying deals. Interest rates are staying steady, still buying deals. If interest rates start going down, still going to buy deals. That's the secret sauce of people that are wealthy. You're always adding to your portfolio. Okay. Like, you're always continuously adding, because again, it is time in the market that matters, right? Not time. I know some people try and time the market. They'll try and say, oh, when rates went down, I got into it because the price was lower. And it's all like, if you actually look at an amortization schedule, so if you actually Google up whatever bank you're using, type in amortization schedule, and kind of start looking at some different math, right? Once you start adjusting the interest rates to lower to higher that fluctuate with the prices, right? So typically, let's just, again, common knowledge, when interest rates go down, typically prices go up. So there's a certain sweet spot where, hey, my interest rate might be lower. Like, let's say I'm a point lower, 1% lower than what I might be in 6 months from now. But the property is selling for, higher. Yeah. I was actually the same with cap rates. I'm like, lower cap rate equals higher purchase price. But for example, if it's a lower interest rate and it's a higher purchase price, okay, look at your monthly payment versus a higher interest rate and a lower purchase price. You can see that they depending on how much they actually fluctuate and how much the rates go down and the price goes up, or how much the rates go up and the price goes down. But you'll see that they're pretty much the same. So as a real estate investor, why does this matter? Okay, so why did we keep buying when interest rates were higher? Okay, everyone just sees a number. They go, oh, look at this number. I don't want to pay that. I'm out. Right? No one wants to pay 7% interest, an 8% interest, 9%. Like, again, you guys get the idea here. Everyone gets scared of that actual number and goes, I am out. I will wait till it gets lower. Investors like myself, what we see, okay, again, everyone wants the best interest rate, but the interest rate is higher. I understand. So the interest rate is higher, which means the demand is less, which means prices typically go down. Now, I'm not talking every market. Someone might say, Dave, my market only went up, or my market never changed. I'm just talking general. But when the rates do go up, typically the prices stay the same or go down. Okay. And your mortgage payment might be XYZ, right? If you look at amortization calculators, or I look up my cash flow analysis matrix that Mel and I have had trademarked. When those rates go down and the price of that asset increases, because now there's more demand, so prices go up, becomes a seller's market. What you missed out on is, if you bought that property when the interest rates were higher, the valuation was lower of the property, but your mortgage payment is basically the same. If you wait that X amount of time for interest rates to change, your property will go up in evaluation. Like, if you had bought it a year later, your payments might be the exact same because interest rates are lower and price is higher. But what I'm getting at is, and hopefully you're seeing this, is you missed out on that time in the market when the asset actually went up in appreciation. So that's what people miss out, is they go, I don't want to pay higher interest rates because I don't want to, XYZ, my payments is going to be this. But if and again, I can't stress enough, the deal has to make sense. The deal has to be able to support it. The ratios have to be there. The cash flow has to be there, which again, we do it all in our cash flow analysis matrix. Then why wouldn't you want to do the deal now, still cash flow, have the deal appreciate as interest rates go lower, right? And then a year or two down the road, you refinance when rates are even lower. Your asset has gone up in appreciation, and you're able to pull out a chunk of tax-free money. See, like, this is something that I feel people miss out on. So the people that do not buy when interest rates are higher, they do miss out on that type of market appreciation. So anyway, just 2 cents. Some people will buy right now, and then they'll still pay a higher price, and they still will get higher market appreciation as well. So again, there's no. That's why we buy in all markets for whether it's higher or lower interest rates. Something else I want to chat about. So buying in the States, what I see a lot of is, so especially for Canadians buying in the US. I'll go on YouTube and I go down the rabbit hole and I'll watch some videos. And again, some people will say, Dave, I can find some content free out there. I know how much money and how much time that I spend with all our accounting team on the Canadian side, all our accounting team on the US side, our lawyers on the Canadian side, our attorneys on the US side, our cross border specialists, and how much we scrutinize our structures and scrutinize our tax efficiencies. And think about this: every single dollar that I pay them, they actually save me money. Like, to be completely honest. So I know, because we have the conversations again, and we'll pivot. Well, is it an LP or is it a C corp? Okay, this is best for you're no longer bringing the money back to Canada, repatriating or whatever that word is. You're now keeping it more there. Well, this is going to be more efficient. So we pivot our portfolio and our structure all the time with. Canada made a change. I think it was a year ago or two. I forget now. Again, the accountants took care of it. So then we had to change things again on the US side. So that is one of the biggest components that I see incorrectly, is how people are actually set up. And some people might say, big deal, I'll just fix it. Fixing it after, in my experience, and I've made a ton of mistakes, Mel and I, over the years, right? Because we didn't have coaches and mentors back then, and we tried to wing it and try to do it on our own. Every time we didn't get educated on a subject and we did it and had to fix it after, ended up costing us so much more money than if we had just done it the right way, correctly in the beginning, and it had just hired a pro or a mentor on it. So yeah, that's one of the biggest things I do see are people giving free information on it and it being incorrect. So that's something I see costly, which is too bad, because then they set up an entity or a business structure on the US and the Canadian side. They set it up and they think it's done right. Like I feel bad for them because they think it's done right. They think hey, I made sure to follow, this YouTube video or whatever it is how to do it myself, just to find out when it's too late, whether they've already sold the asset or they're starting to file their taxes, and then they thought they did it right, and then they realize, oh, the double taxation on the Canadian side. Like, yeah, I just can't stress enough that having that proper structure in the beginning, which is stuff that we show our Action Family Mentoring program. We literally show them how we are structured and why. And then we literally introduce them to the same lawyers, attorneys, accountants, CPAs, mortgage brokers, insurance brokers, and real estate agents that we use. And Mel and I, over the years, have had to kiss a lot of frogs, of people, of lawyers and attorneys and accountants and CPAs that, again, nothing was done maliciously. It's just they didn't quite understand the investor focused approach to it, right? Or they didn't understand creative financing, or they didn't understand, hey, if you're not just buying one rental property, you're going to grow a massive portfolio. So, we should probably do a couple of things here so that when we get here, we're actually set up and we're not having to revamp things. But yeah, definitely the professionals, using the right people and getting the right training and mentoring has been a game changer, and can save you so much money in the end. So what other deal that I want to talk about today? So that's the Ohio deal. I talked about the triplex. The flip, the one that we just firmed up on today. So this one's pretty cool. It's a smaller house. I have to look at the details again. I'll have to get the details after. But yeah, anyway, this one's going to be a flip in the Cape Coral, Florida area. It's like 900 to 950 square feet. The team is going to go in. I think they're going to spend, I always like being conservative. They said like 10 days, let's say 14 or 21 days. So they're going to go in, they're literally going to spend 2-3 weeks in there. It's low hanging fruit cosmetics, and it's in an area, and it's a type of asset that is going to go like that. So we take possession, I believe, July 2nd or 3rd. I'd have to look at the calendar again. Team's going to go in, do their thing. Now that we've firmed up today, they're getting all the supplies and everything right now. So this is the key, right? I find a lot of people will wait. So I know that I am closing on July 2nd, which is, what is there, 27 days left in June. So there's 29 days. Let's say 30 days is what I have. Okay. Oh, I don't know why I watch it doing that. So I have 30 days, calendar days, right, to get everything ready so that when we take possession on July 2nd, it's all right. Here are the keys. Cool. Demo crew start, throw everything in the dumpster, get that gone, get the supplies in. Let's start getting the people working on the other stuff. But I find a lot of investors, what they'll do is they wait, kind of like, I find they lose that time that they have. And think about this. This is the period of time where we can't do anything anyway. It's kind of like that dead space, right? If we can't really physically do anything, so why don't we get our plans together? Why don't we get our materials together? Why don't we line up all the, if it's plumbing case, the plumber lined up, we take possession on the second, or whatever, the first week that we're in, we know demo is going to be a day. We know that XYZ, the kitchen. So let's have him or her ready for like the fourth day that we own the property, or the first Monday of the following week after we're in there. So it's just, and again, I'm just making up an example, but it's just not losing any time. So that way, because I'll see people, they'll wait till like the day before, the week before, they'll wait till they take possession, and then they start walking around, and it's just, I find that's why people end up, their properties take too long, or their flips take too long. And then again, it's just, think of the not the backstory. What's the word I want to use? Think of the domino effect that has, because this property, I'm borrowing money, right? Because we always do with other people's money. I'm borrowing money to do this project. Every month, every day, every week that goes by that I hold on to this money to do the project, I have to pay interest on it. So if I'm able to get out of this project even quicker, right, which reduces my carrying costs, which reduces the amount of interest I'm going to have to pay them, I end up making more money. And I know this sounds super simple. You're like, yeah, Dave, no brainer. Yeah. But people just don't do it. Right. Anyway, that's something I see with people that are doing projects, and it doesn't have to just be a flip. It's also multifamily property. So people just think, oh, Dave, single family home flip. Yeah, that's what you're talking about. No, it's also multifamily properties as well, right? So it's just, don't have as much downtime. Get the project up and running. Like the Ohio triplex that we have, the 2 units that are vacant, that's up and running already. The other unit that's coming vacant soon, we're not waiting for it to become vacant to start making a plan. We're walking through with the team. We're figuring out, what does it need? What's going to be the most amount of lift that we're going to get in regards to finishes, in regards to market rent, while doing the amount appropriate for that area, that market, that neighborhood. So it's going through and now buy the materials, have it all set up, right? Make sure that everything's good, making sure the property management is on top of it, so that we know that when they vacate the property, because they're moving on to another property, when they vacate it, that we're notified, and then boom, right? Make sure that dumpster is delivered for the second that we get possession. Demo crews in there, fill up that dumpster, get it going, right? So it's not just single family homes, it's also multifamily homes. Multifamily buildings with lots of units. We've done it where we've had 17 units, and it's like, okay, you literally end up having like a spreadsheet with, okay, this unit is coming vacant on this. So what do we need for this, right? Okay, we've got 3 vacant right now, so they're up and running, they're working, and then the crew's going to be able to move in. So it's literally just quarterbacking it, but the least amount of downtime that you can have. And again, I know this sounds super simple, but the least amount of downtime you have and the least amount of carrying costs you have and interest you pay, is just going to help you make so much more money. So just things, anyway, from experience, I see a lot of investors, they wait till closing day. It's super exciting. And it's like, okay, now let's get a plan. No. The plan starts as soon as you firm up. As soon as you firm up, like, that's when, as soon as I get a deal under contract, that's when the real work starts, because I got to do my due diligence. I got to do my checklist. I got to contact the county, the city, the municipality, get all my ducks in order, make sure that everything's good to go, that the asset is what it is. Then, get all the money, all that stuff. Then you firm up. Then the other work starts. It's like, all right, now we're firm. So like today we went firm on that deal in Florida. All right. It's a whole other wave of work that starts. All right, we're firm. We get possession July 2nd. Do. Is this all in a row? And then once you actually close the deal, it's another kind of, all right, now what are we doing? Boom, 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 boom. All right. Renovations are almost done. Okay, let's get it listed, right? So it's getting ahead of it, and just knowing that, don't wait till you get to that stage to start that stage. Understand that maybe when you're at, and every stage is going to be different, every stage that you're at, if you're at the 50 or 70% finished of that stage, maybe you need to start the other one so that you're efficient. Shailen, are you using hard money funding? In different deals I am. So some deals will use hard money, some deals We'll use some bridge financing. So it just depends on the deal itself. It depends how long we want to keep it. It depends if it's going to be a flip or if it's going to be a refi, right? If I actually want to keep this in my portfolio, I might start out with hard money and then kind of bridge it after, and then go to like a more traditional financing at depending what the terms are. So, but all of the above, to be honest with you. Someone check out the replay from our webinar last night. Yes, guys, if you want some examples of us literally analyzing, I think we analyzed like 4 or 5 deals. So we break down 4 or 5 deals. We analyze it. Definitely click here. Let me put it right here. Click on the link. It's the replay webinar from last night. Mel and I were live. There's also a Q&A section at the end. We show you pictures of renos. We show you some numbers. We break down different creative financing strategies as well. What was I going to say? Yeah, we break down different strategies as well. And just take a look. You get to know our story, figure out. One of the questions I get is, why would anyone lend someone money? We talk about what benefits them, right? So why would a seller hold a mortgage for you? Why would someone, let's say Canada, use their RRSPs to lend to you? Why would someone in the US use their 401k to lend to you? Right? So we explain the benefits. We explain the setup of it. So yeah, check out the webinar. If ever you are interested in because we have our Action Family Mentoring Program. We now have 2,100 members strong. Absolutely love it. So if ever you're interested, yeah, check out the webinar. Take a look. If you're like, hey, I kind of like what these guys are doing, right? Because we do all of this with no joint venture partners. Okay. Everything is solely owned. Everything is controlled by Mel and I. All the cash flow comes to us. All the equity comes to us. So that's our big thing, right? I'm not against JVs. I have a lot of friends that do JVs. They make a ton of money. It's just for Mel and I in our situation, we like solely owning. And let me give you an example. I'll give you a real life example of something we literally just went through. I say literally. It was at the start of last school year. Time flies. So Mel's oldest daughter was going to, or it did go to college. Okay. And we wanted to be able to pay. The deal was always, the goal was always that the buildings, the assets will pay for the kids' education. That's been the whole point. We'll pay for the kids' education. We'll pay for their weddings. We'll pay for if they want a vehicle. We'll pay for, different things like that. That's been the goal for Mel and I, to be able to provide to the kids, right? Give them a leg up in this world. So Caitlin goes to college, and we all know that, well, this was last September. So like last July, August, right? We all know where the interest rates were last July and August, right? No one is thinking those rates are favorable. No one is liking those interest rates. Let's be real. We still went ahead and refinanced a deal at one of our properties. We refinanced it at the higher interest rate, right? Took out the money and were able to do what we want with it. Didn't all go there. Like we also bought other buildings with it as well, but some of it went towards, we took the dividend, the distribution personally, and it paid for it. Now think about this. Like just think about this situation. Literally refinancing a building, not in the ideal time. We didn't have to either, right? The term, we still had problems, or no, we still had, I can't think of the word. We still had months left on the term. I can't think of, that's not the word I wanted to use. So because it's our building, we decided to, yes, there was a little penalty. There's the word, a little penalty, which again, we absorbed as part of it. We refinanced at a higher interest rate. Our cash flow did go down. Yes, the building still cash flowed. Otherwise we wouldn't have done it, right? That wouldn't make any sense, but we still cash flow. Now we took out that pocket of money, which again, we bought other assets. So it's making us money anyway and appreciating assets. But some of that went towards putting her post-secondary education. Imagine trying to explain that to a joint venture partner. Imagine me going to a partner and saying, hey, by the way, we are going to be refinancing at a not necessarily ideal time for interest rates. Your cash flow is going to go down. You're going to pay higher interest rates. And I'm taking some of the money personally, to do this. Probably wouldn't fly, right? Like, just be realistic. Like that's not a conversation that anyone enjoys. The other person would be like, what? I'm going to make less money. I'm going to pay higher interest rate. And you're taking a big chunk for your, your side of things. So this is exactly why, and I'm not saying again that JVs can't work. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying for Mel and I in our situation, what we want to do with our buildings and our family and our generational wealth, We like solely owning. We like being able to decide what we do, when we do it, with what asset. If we decide tomorrow we want to sell this building because we see a lot of opportunity somewhere else and we want to take that money, yes, pay the capital gains, but do it somewhere else, we can do it, right? We don't have to ask permission. So that's been the biggest thing with Mel and I in building our portfolio, is doing it, yes, with, how do I say this? Partners, yes, to a certain extent. They partner up with us in the deal, but they don't have equity. There's zero equity, zero ownership. Okay, we partner up in, what was I going to say? We partner up in regards to, they get money, right? They get equity, not they get equity, they get interest. Oh my gosh, Dave, come on. So they don't get equity, they don't get ownership, but yes, we pay them a beautiful interest, right? Because why else would they do it? And this is exactly what we show in our Action Family Mentoring Program, guys. We've been doing this for over 25 plus years. Okay, Mel and I, as of now, this number is a moving target. But as of right now, we have now purchased over 263 units in 5 different countries, right? Canada, US, Costa Rica, Mexico, Dominican Republic, solely owned, other people's money, creative financing. And if you're like, I like the sounds of that, I want to do this too, right? I want to take advantage of Canadian buying in the US market, Canadian buying in Canada, US citizen buying in US. I want to buy in Costa Rica, just like you guys. Watch the webinar, right? Take a look. We analyze a bunch of deals. Send us a DM, depending where you're logging in from right now. I'm live on all platforms. Send us a DM and we'll get you set up, right? Do you want a mentor? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, I want to learn from someone who's been there, done that, has had thousands of tenants over the years, has raised tens of millions of dollars for their projects, does own hundreds of units and still continuously doing it, right? Then send us a DM. Let's rock and roll. Let's get you started. That is the whole point of our Action Family Mentoring Program. Now, if you are wondering, Dave, why did you ever become a coach or a mentor? So on June 8th, so how many days ago that is, on June 8th, 2018, fast forward back to those 6 years, okay? Mel and I had a crazy accident on the highway. We almost died. The police came to us and said, we literally were driving on the highway going over 100 kilometers, right? So what is that in miles? I forget now the conversion. And what was I going to say? Transport hit us. We rolled 4 or 5 times. I spoke to a lady yesterday that actually saw it. She's like, I can't believe you guys lived. I'm like, I know. Same with the police officers. They all said, I cannot believe you walked away from that. This is something that people typically don't, or they're badly injured. And at that point, Mel and I already owned 18 buildings. We owned 76 units. And thank goodness we were able to say, you know what? Because Mel was more banged up than I was. And she had a huge fear. Let's use the word fear. She was saying, she had a concussion and all that stuff. And her biggest fear that she would talk to me is, she's like, I don't want to go back to work. Great workplace. Everything was good. It's just she was at that point where it didn't want to go back to work anymore. And literally, thank goodness that we had the real estate. We were able to say, don't go back to work, right? You don't need to. We own units. We cash flow. We probably could have retired sooner, but we just didn't because we had some scarcity mindset. And then we realized, thank goodness we had this, but not everyone has this, right? And everyone should have this. Everyone should have the ability to decide what they want to do when they want to do it, right? Yeah, you still got to work. You still got to do some stuff. Mel and I still work. I enjoy work. But it's work that I love. It's talking to you live right now. It's analyzing deals, right? Literally talking to the property manager in Ohio earlier. Hey, what are we doing? What flooring are we doing? Awesome, cool. Like, that's fun. Yes, it's work, but it's fun. And that's what I'm saying. That's why Mel and I became coaches and mentors. We didn't start being a coach and then bought buildings like some people that I see. We literally had a lot of real estate, almost died, had an epiphany, right? We used to have this scarcity mindset of, I'm not telling anyone what I'm doing. Had the epiphany and went, there's so much real estate out there. There's so much money out there. Why am I having scarcity mindset? And why don't I help other people change their lives, right? That's another bucket, right? Helping people change their lives. Like one of our students, one of our members last week, Matt, 39 years old, full-time police officer, kind of similar to me, right? I was a full-time professional firefighter. He was a full-time police officer, quit his full-time job as a cop I get goosebumps talking about it. A 39 years old. I think he's got like 30 units or something. Um, that's why we do what we do. Money can't even touch the feeling and the satisfaction think of that as a coach or mentor, helping people change their lives. Patty and Adela. Patty retired her mom, right? I see people taking dream vacations. I see people retiring their parents. I see people buying real estate, going to Disney World. Like, that is the reason why Mel and I do what we do. Okay. We absolutely love being coaches or mentors. This came after we had a bunch of real estate. We continue to buy. We'll always buy real estate, right? I've got a huge addiction to real estate. So we've always bought and we continue to buy. We'll always buy. But that's why we do what we do. And if you want to be a part of that, you want to be part of our amazing action family, 2,100 members. Yeah, watch the webinar or send us a DM. Say, hey, DM me the word mentor. Okay, mentor. DM me the word mentor, meaning, hey, Dave, I want some help. I want to change what I'm doing. I want to do what you guys are doing. I want to buy real estate. I want to be able to provide my family with what, the goals and the why that I have. Don't wait. We're already June 13th. We're already halfway through the year. Okay, 2014. Jeez, I just lost a decade. 2024 is almost halfway through. What are you waiting for? Reach out to us, DM us the word mentor, and we'll reach out to you with next steps. So anyway, so happy to have gone live with you. I've got to go home. I've got to go pack. I am leaving for a hockey tournament, right? Because I can just zip out like that. It's Thursday afternoon. I'm taking the rest of the day off. I'm taking Friday off. Mel and I are heading to the Toronto area hockey tournament. Super excited. Our little guy, Colton, he's 9 years old. We're going to go spend the entire weekend with him. He's going to do what he loves, which is hanging out with his buddies, playing some hockey. We're going to be hanging out with some friends, our hockey family as well. So, and we get to do so because what I love about it, my buildings are still appreciating. They're still cash flowing. Again, I don't have to ask anyone for time off. That's why I love having a portfolio. So anyways, you want to change your life? DM us the word mentor. Let's rock and roll. Wish my little guy luck in his hockey tournament this weekend. And again, follow our stories. Follow us on social. I'll update it as well. Go check out the pictures. So at Investor Mel Dave, go check out the pictures of our local Florida, our recent Florida flip. The washroom looks beautiful. Go check it out. Tell me what you think. Actually, there's a poll there. Go check out the poll and answer the question.